Scott McNair, injury attorneys, we fight for the win.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is David Vignair, and welcome to the Overrule Podcast. My co-host Brad Scott is not here today. He is in vacation in Zion in Utah, hiking the last time I talked to him. So I would normally say I might be jealous of him, but he's probably should be jealous of me because I have an incredible guest here today, and I'm looking at the surprises that he brought, which are really freaking tempting. I'm looking at Super Witch ice cream, marble cake, yellow cake ice cream, chocolate cake, truffle. And so it's been hard not to eat it so far. But anywho, welcome to Briggs Barrios. Thank you so much for being on the Overrule Podcast. Appreciate you being here with us today.
No, thank y'all for having me. I'm looking forward to talking to you.
Yeah. So Briggs, tell all of our listeners a little bit about Super Witch ice cream, how it operates, where you're located. And I really kind of want to get into your story about how you got started, because talking off the air a little bit, pretty incredible story. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the company and the ice cream?
Absolutely. Well, Super Witch Ice Cream Company is a pint-only ice cream company. So it's not your typical scoop shop. You cannot just come in and get a scoop of ice cream, bring your family. It is a pre-order only operation right now. I was alone until this week. I hired my first employee.
Congratulations.
Everything is made from scratch at the shop in Harahan, everything from the ice cream base to everything that goes into it. And yeah, so every single Wednesday, all the ice cream I make during the week goes for sale on my website. It's hotplate.com/superwitch. And it's really, the only thing I can compare it to is like a sneaker drop. So the flavors are exclusive every single week. The menu changes every single week. It's 3 to 6, maybe 7 flavors, depending on what week you log in. And it goes for sale at 7 p.m. on Wednesday night. It has been selling out pretty quickly. And by that, I mean like under 1 minute.
There's a little bit of demand for the ice cream.
Yeah. So I'm trying to keep up with demand. I've only got so much freezer space. I've only got 2 hands. I've only got so much time during the week, but I'm building the team out. The quality of the ice cream is the most important thing to me. So we're going to build it slowly and steadily and be able to maintain the quality that we've achieved early on.
Well, I'm going to warn you, my trainer listens to this podcast and he's not going to like you. So
I don't know. I think it's one of those things that if I'm going to cheat, I'm going to cheat the right way.
For sure.
I think this is one of those ways you could do that.
Well, ice cream is definitely a good way. Can we just try the damn ice cream?
Absolutely.
I've been looking at it. Is it tempered or not? Okay, so
dive
you
in.
eat it with me?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
All
This
right,
is just for you and for the team over here.
If you're not watching
this,
if you're not watching this on YouTube, if you're listening to us on I am trying
that is the marble cake. It's a yellow cake ice cream.
Okay.
With a chocolate cake truffle, which is basically like a cake pop.
Okay.
But in ice cream form. It's going to have like a cookie dough like texture, super fudgy, and it's like having a marble cake but in ice cream.
All right, so I'm going to be honest. I'm a chocolate person, and this was incredible. This might be this might be the best. This might be the best ice cream I've ever tried, and I'm not saying that just because you're sitting next to me. But holy crap,
I appreciate that.
Miles, our marketing guy, had warned me how good this ice cream is. I stuffed my face with it, but it is really good.
Awesome.
And I think the first time we've tried perishable goods on the Overrule Podcast. So you have another first for you, Briggs.
Love that. Love that.
Okay, so we've verified now that it's probably the best ice cream I've ever tried. And you told us a little bit about the company.
Yeah.
Tell our listeners, please, Briggs, how'd you get into this?
So pretty long story, but it all started when I was living in Tampa. I was really big into fitness, and I was at that point.
Makes sense. A guy into fitness is eating ice cream.
I mean, it makes
the people
sense.
listening are going to hate you even more.
It's kind of ironic, but I was trying to find a way to get some easy calories. I didn't have a whole lot of time to cook at home, so I decided that ice cream was a delicious and easy way to get a really large amount of calories very quickly. I started trying everything I could find, everything in the grocery store, and over a 3-4 year period, I was eating, and this is not an exaggeration at all, I was eating around 5 to 6 pints of ice cream every single week.
Okay.
Like whole pints of ice cream at a time.
We're talking like the big,
one
size
tub,
or big one?
One tub every single night, basically for 3.5 years.
Oh, wow.
I tried over 1,000 different types of ice cream, everything you can have in the grocery store. Once I had gone through all those things, I started getting ice cream shipped to my door from all these small batch makers from across the country. And that really changed my perspective on what ice cream could be.
Would you say it's because those small batch people that were sending it to you, like the quality was better?
100%.
Okay.
It's
Gotcha.
a totally different. I compare it to like having a Domino's pizza and then going over to Pizza Delicious or Z's Pizza or Il Supremo and getting a really like great pizza.
100%.
And you're like, okay, it's like you're eating something totally different. You're
get it.
eating pizza, but you're not eating pizza at the same time.
Fair. I
So
get
it's
it.
like
I get
that.
it. And I am the pizza expert, so I understand what you're saying. I've eaten a lot of bad pizza and a lot of good pizza,
Exactly.
and I've just deemed myself the pizza expert.
Exactly. Yeah, I think your resume speaks for itself. So I think we're good there. But yeah, it was. And then my cousins actually pushed me into starting a page on Instagram where I was posting reviews of the ice cream that I was eating. This was also, I was getting my ideas of what ice creams I should try from a bodybuilding.com forum. So it was all these meathead bodybuilder guys were posting ice cream reviews. It's kind of the criteria was, is it worth your time, money, and calories to eat this specific ice cream? And I would read through all these reviews and kind of pinpoint my next victim and go from there. And so I had
you had a quite strategic approach to the ice cream. I
wasn't, like I said, if I was going to eat something bad for me and I was going to do it, then I wanted to eat the best I could find or something that I think I would enjoy. So over the course of 3 or 4 years, I ate a ton of ice cream. Ended up moving back here for a job right before COVID, and kind of took that same energy to the New Orleans ice cream scene. A few small batch makers had just popped up around the COVID times. Creole Creamery, of course, and Piccola Gelateria, and a lot of other small local shops that make great products around here. And then COVID hit. I couldn't really work out as much. The gym wasn't open, and I can't be eating 4 to 5 pints of ice cream a week. So I completely stopped eating ice cream cold turkey for, I think it was like 7 or 8 months. I went from eating ice cream 4 to 5 times a week to 0 in 7 months. Took a family trip to Destin, and every time we took a vacation, that was the first thing I looked at. Like, where's the local ice cream?
It must have been like severe sugar withdrawals.
I felt great, but I was kind of missing it. I wasn't working out as much, so that kind of gets my day going in the right way.
Right, for sure.
So I was missing everything.
Gotcha.
And so we go to Destin for our first family vacation after COVID. We went to the only place in Destin that I found that makes their own ice cream is a place called Pink Coyote Dessert Company. Me, my brother, my nephews, my mom, my dad, we all went down to this spot. It's also a snowball stand, and we got some ice cream. I took the first bite. It was a blueberry cookie butter Biscoff flavor. And I turned to my brother. I said, man, I kind of miss this. I haven't had ice cream in a while, and I forgot how much I enjoyed it. And at that point, it took me about 10 minutes to decide I wanted to start making it at the house. There was a lot of great stuff in New Orleans, but nothing exactly like some of these makers from across the country were making, with the specific mix-ins and the quantities and just the way everything was packed into the pint. So decided I wanted to start making it. In the car ride on the way back to the condo, I bought like 6 or 7 books. They were at my doorstep when we got home. Amazon delivered them, and just started reading up on how to make ice cream. And that next week, I made my first batch of ice cream and fell in love with it after batch number 1. So I've been tweaking the recipe, taking bits and pieces from a lot of the makers that I actually bought ice cream from, was shipped to me, have cookbooks. So I bought all of those and started messing around with different recipes, seeing what I liked in regards to texture, flavor, and consistency, and landed on what the ice cream base is today. It's a work in progress always. I've tweaked it a whole bunch since the shop opened. And it's always, I like to say that I think it's the worst it ever will be, but also the best it ever has been at the same time. So I want to continue to improve it. But continue to maintain the quality that
If
everyone
that's the
can
worst
expect.
it's ever been, then that's some good freaking ice cream. Now, the thing I love about your story too is like, just so none of our listeners get the misimpression here. I mean, it's not like you were in operations at Bluebell or in marketing at Bluebell. Like
No.
your professional background, you had no real industry experience in ice cream, right? Like, what did you do? What was your
exact
real
opposite.
like full-time job before you kind of went and jumped off the ledge and started this?
Yeah. So right out of school, I worked for a small energy investment boutique here in New Orleans. I was a stock trader, and then I moved to Tampa, and I was kind of running a portion of Fanatics.com. And then after that, moved back here and was working for a commodities trading company.
Yeah.
So
no ice cream,
no ice cream, no food industry experience. I grew up loving food. My family is one of those families, like a lot of New Orleans families, that every special occasion revolves around food and going out to dinner. And that's kind of where we made memories. So I've always had that love and passion for food. But I never really made it before, besides small stuff in the kitchen and doing stuff for holidays and things like that, but kind of just dove in head first.
So I love that because it kind of just shows like you don't have to if you just want to do something, if you believe in it, like look at how far you've come already. I know you have big plans for the company. I want to talk about that a little bit too, but just like you didn't have industry experience. You didn't know any of this stuff. You just kind of ordered some books and figured it out.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And so tell me a little bit about, I want our listeners to know, and I'm going to say this again at the end, like, how do I get this ice cream right now? Personally, I want to know because I want some. And apparently, as I learned off the show, like us getting 2 pints in here was a pretty big deal because like this stuff is like almost cursed. This stuff is like really flying off the shelves. So tell us about how do I get it? If somebody's listening to this, I'm like, all right, David's like obsessed with this ice cream after he had 1 bite. This sounds good. Like, tell us.
Absolutely. So, everything kind of funnels through my Instagram page. It's Super Witch Ice Cream. You'll be able to find it. And there's a link in my bio on my Instagram page. And it's hotplate.com/superwitch. This is the website where all the ordering goes down every single Wednesday. Well, usually every Wednesday, unless I'm taking the week off or there's a holiday, or a couple weeks back when we had a hurricane scare, we pushed the drop up so we can get the ice cream out the freezers. But usually every Wednesday at 7 p.m., the drop goes live, and that means all the ice cream goes for sale at 7 p.m. I make all the ice cream throughout the week. The process for the next week starts on Thursday. So everything's sold on Wednesday, and then Thursday prep for the next week starts, and then churning starts again on Friday, Saturday, Sunday to prep for next week. So
if I make it through right now in the first minute or two and get one of these pints, then how do I get it? Do I go pick it up?
Absolutely. So Hot Plate is pretty easy site to use. I mean, if you have purchased anything on the internet, it's very similar. You can Apple Pay, checkout, and at checkout, you can choose a pickup time. It's usually Friday. It's usually Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It's Thursday evening after work for people that want to swing by after work. It's 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. usually. And then Fridays from noon to 1:30 if you want to run over during your lunch break or you've got your Friday off. And then Saturday, give everybody an opportunity on their day off to come in, and it's 11 to 12:30. That's the shop. That's the hours that the shop's open. It's one of those things, though, that the policy is that if you do not pick up your ice cream, it's forfeited because I need the freezer space.
For sure. Yeah.
So, and there are a lot of people that want it. So it's one of those things that please don't order unless you know you can pick it up or somebody can pick it up for you. And you can come to any of those 3 times. It doesn't matter what time you choose at checkout or anything like that. Just come to one of those 3 times, give me your name and order number, and you'll get your ice cream.
All right. I don't want any of the secret sauce, but tell me like a little bit generally for people who are interested, right? Like where my mind goes, like, all right, so I go buy like Haagen-Dazs or Bluebells, but like Briggs' stuff and Super Witch tastes like so much better. Yeah. Like what is the magic, or don't give the secrets up, but like, is it the freshness of the stuff that you use? Is it the tension? Is it less shelf life and like running through production from different parts of the country to storefront? Like, can you tell us a little bit about what makes this quality so much better?
Absolutely. It's a little bit of everything. Gotcha. My ice cream is tailored to exactly what I want it to be. So, premium grocery store ice creams are anywhere from usually 15 to 18% butterfat. I think when you get higher on that range, as far as the quality goes, like that sounds like it should be higher quality, but I don't think you get the same flavor that you get from a lower butterfat ice cream. It lasts on your palate longer, but the flavor of this ice cream, which is around 15% butterfat, is exactly what I want it to be. It's on your palate for a long time, but it also hits your palate pretty quickly.
I noticed that. Like when I tasted it, like it definitely sat in a good way longer on my palate than other ice cream does. Other ice cream just kind of like, you get that great taste, but it goes away quicker.
Yeah. And that's also a function of the overrun of the ice cream. Overrun is an industry term describing how much air is whipped into the ice cream during the production process. And obviously air is free. So a lot of bigger companies.
Unless it's TV.
Yes.
I know a little bit about that. If you're listening
you
to my
know.
good friends at Fox,
you would know about that. But
and ABC and WWO. So.
But like Bluebell or companies like that have a higher air content in their ice cream, which produces a little bit airier of a texture, and it produces a lighter product. So if you weigh a pint of my ice cream and you weigh a pint of Bluebell's ice cream, though it's the same size container, mine's going to weigh significantly more.
I noticed that too. Like I'm noticing how heavy this is compared to like a normal pint ice cream when I picked it up. Now that you say it, I didn't notice it when I grabbed it. But.
Exactly. And like when you go in the grocery store, you can notice that too. If you pick up a pint of like Breyers or something like that, that's not even legally called ice cream. It's a frozen dairy dessert. Then you're picking it up and you're like, wow, okay, that makes total sense. It's like you're holding cardboard basically. There's so much air in it. It's probably over 50% of that container is air versus actual product.
Interesting.
This is a very low overrun. It's 25 to 30% depending on the flavor. And also everything is hand packed. So I am physically packing every single pint of ice cream. It's coming out of my batch freezer. I'm packing it. My Instagram has videos of me packing the ice cream.
I was watching them earlier.
Yeah, I like to show people
I'm
the process.
shocked at like I'm so impressed, not in a bad way, like in a good way. And you've got almost 15,000 followers on Instagram, which is fantastic. Like you should be really proud of that. That's hard to do. But like then I'm like sitting there watching the videos. I'm like, I want that ice cream. I want this ice cream.
yeah, exactly. And I think those videos function too, is they serve a purpose for me, so people can really understand what you're paying for.
100%.
Like all these grocery stores you buy, these grocery store ice creams are all big co-packed ice creams. They're in big production facilities. And you mentioned this previously when you asked me the question, is it a supply chain thing where it's so far away from production? That's also another reason why this quality is a lot better. I'm making the ice cream that week.
Right.
So my last production day for the drop tomorrow is tomorrow. So
that's incredible.
I'm making the last 350 pints for this drop tomorrow. And it's going for sale that night.
Well, I think a lot of New Orleanians kind of and South Louisiana people kind of get that. So I think of like a couple places, right? It's like if you go to GW Finn's, if you've ever been there, like that like a lot. Oh, it's one of the best, one of my favorites too. Like they're getting their seafood from like people who are spearfish. I know a couple of the people who spearfish the fish in the Gulf, and deliver it to the restaurant. And so the fish is getting there quicker than like coming through production from China or somewhere else in the country, or like. Also here, like I know I've bought, and maybe you have, like I bought a king cake out of a dude's house the last couple of years,
100%.
like just small batch, like
Absolutely.
Specialty stuff. And you're like, man, this king cake, no offense to some of the bigger king cake producers, is just such a higher quality and so better, just better. It's like fresher, better ingredients, not mass produced. You're getting that really storefront touch that it seems like is happening with your operation.
100%.
And I think a lot of us kind of get that, I guess, because we experience it in different areas, right?
Yeah, there's no question about it. I think the handcrafted nature of the product, once you have it, you understand it. It might not. I think getting people over the initial hump of it being a lot more expensive to something that you would buy in the grocery store, I don't think it's really a fair comparison.
Right.
It's a different product in my mind. It's like the pizza comparison.
Yeah.
You pay $30 for a pizza at one of the best pizza restaurants in New Orleans, but you pay $4.99 at Domino's. That's a huge price discrepancy. But
there's a difference.
You're paying for quality. You're paying for somebody that's put their passion into the product. You're paying for somebody that's done a lot of hard work to get the product to where it is.
Right.
And that's the point of the ice cream. Like I want to change people's perspective on what they think ice cream can be and how they enjoy ice cream with their families.
I don't think my family's getting any of this ice cream. And I don't think anybody at the law firm's getting it. I probably have to be more selfless and reflective, but I really want to steal it and bring it home. But let me ask you, because I agree with you. And I think intuitively, like, people get that, right? Yeah. That I'm going to pay a little bit more for something that this quality of a product. And clearly the market's telling you, at least right now, the volume that you are, that like people get it because you're selling out in like a minute. Yeah. So what are your plans for the company? Like, how do you, like, I want to get this ice cream and I don't want to, like, I mean, I'll probably sit candidly online. Those of you listening, you think I'm lying. Like, I'll sit online next Wednesday night. I would do it tomorrow night, but I'm going to be on a plane. But as I was just telling Briggs, but I'll probably be sitting there at 7:00 and trying to get one of these pints. But like, and I'm going to be talking to other people about this ice cream. So I'm assuming there's going to be, as you grow, right, there'll be more and more demand. Yeah. Like, what are your plans for the company, and how do you deliver this type of quality, but also make your operation be a little bit bigger to be able to make it available to more people?
Absolutely. I mean, that's going to be the sticking point for the entire operation. I want to see where I can scale this quality and see how far it can go. I haven't come across any machines that can pack ice cream like this. So in my eyes, the only way to scale this business is to have a production team that is really hands-on and really passionate about what they do and passionate about making great ice cream and making people happy. So a bigger space with more batch freezers, more people packing ice cream, and just a big production facility that can act as maybe like a main hub for a few different locations that people will be able to come up and buy ice cream at a Super Witch retail location is kind of where my mind's at right now. But I'm going to see how far the road is with this current business model. I really like that the menu changes every single week. It keeps it exciting for a lot of people, keeps it exciting for me. Obviously I have to make the menu every single week. So it keeps it fun, and it keeps the creativity alive. For example, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, something that I'd never seen in ice cream, but I made like a caramel swirl is a big ice cream component, or a peanut butter swirl, that's in this pint.
Is this the peanut butter?
That's the peanut butter. You should try that one while we're here.
That now, because I can't look at this ice. Keep talking, Briggs. I'm just going to eat. There's an Oreo in here in case you can't see it.
But 2 or 3 weeks ago, I made a swirl that had like a fudgy consistency, but it was made from Chips Ahoy cookies. So it was you're eating Chips Ahoy cookies, but it was in a swirl. I think that's worth it, though.
It was definitely worth it. Yeah. Oh my
gosh. So yeah, it's presenting nostalgic flavors and flavors that people are familiar with, but presented in a way that they've never seen before.
That is ridiculously good. And I didn't even get to get the Oreo yet, which I will after this episode is over with. But
there's plenty of Oreos in there. I promise.
I will tell you too, like, the biggest thing, like, I don't think I'm a big believer in, like, when you're talking about like how do you make the ice cream company bigger, you do not have to lose the quality of the product just because you get bigger. And that was a big hurdle. And I think a mental hurdle that a lot of people go through in growing their companies. And for example, with the law firm, when it was just like me, it was like, man, nobody else can practice law like me. False. Like, you can find good lawyers who probably do even better job than you because they're not focused on, like, where you're at right now. You're doing everything. Right.
Exactly.
And so once you get big enough to where you can focus on the things that really make the differences for your company, 100%. I don't think your quality has to suffer at all. And you'll be able to deliver this to way more people than you are right now, because this is some freaking good ice cream.
I appreciate that. That's certainly the goal. I want to get this ice cream to as many people as possible. And I want this quality to be maintained throughout that entire process.
Yeah. And it's also one of those things too, like, I try, like, when you come across like a good restaurant or something you really enjoy and you're like, man, I don't want to like play it up too much because, like, I don't think it's going to deliver. Miles has been talking about this ice cream to me for, like, our marketing coordinator who's behind the camera here for, like, because he knows you personally for like 5 weeks now. And like he sold it and it delivered. So I wanted you to know that like, you should be really proud of this ice cream because it's good.
I appreciate that. Yeah. And in the social media world, I think, and what keeps it fun for me, I have an athletic background. So it's kind of like game week every single week for me. Like, I need to deliver because it may be somebody's first time ever having the ice cream. And if it's the first time having the ice cream and it lets them down, then they probably won't be back.
100%.
So, every single week to me it's like an NFL Sunday, or it's like being under the lights during a baseball game. It has to deliver. Whatever is on the pint, whatever the description is, has to deliver.
100%.
And that keeps it fun for me.
That is what it is, because you're producing ice cream, we're producing legal services. We're all in the service business. Like if you don't consistently deliver, then you miss opportunities, you let down consumers, and then your company doesn't get to the stage you want. So I think you're just in a great mindset for where things are. And I really can't wait to see how your company grows, because the product is fantastic, and you're clearly got your head in the right place. You're a great guy. Tell everybody again, where do they find you online? Like, tell us the Instagram handle, maybe anywhere else, the website. Like, walk us through the whole thing one more time.
Absolutely. It's Super Witch Ice Cream. That's the Instagram. Everything really runs through there. So I'll have some behind the scenes videos. I'll post pictures of the pints that are going to be available on that Wednesday's drop.
Is there a website, or this is all on Instagram?
There is a website, but the Instagram is where a majority of all the posts are.
Okay.
The website will have some information. We'll send you to the Hot Plate website, which is where you order.
What's the website?
It's www.hotplate.com/superwitch.
We're going to link all this stuff in the show links on the on all our podcasts uplink and on YouTube too. But I just want everybody listening to be able to know how to find it.
Absolutely. And probably the most important part of that Hot Plate website is there's a little button when you go to my main page, and you could click Never Miss a Sale and put in your phone number, and it'll send you a reminder text about 3 to 4 minutes before the drop goes live on Wednesday night. And that text message reminder will have a link to the drop. So you just click that link in your text, and it brings you right to the drop, and you'll be in with, last week there were like 850 or 900 people in the lobby waiting room trying to get ice cream.
So there's a little bit of a demand for it.
Yeah. It's been pretty fun.
I can't let you off until I know. All right. Do you have a favorite flavor?
Actually, I do. It is a flavor that I made the past 2 Thanksgivings. I'm not sure if it's going to get made again this year.
Oh, well, come on. Now you have to make it again. I was like really nervous.
A version of it will be made, I promise. It might not be exactly the same, but it's a flavor called Black Bottom Pecan Pie. It's
he's excited. Miles excited.
Yeah, it's an Oreo ice cream. Like, so the actual ice cream tastes like you're eating an Oreo, and it's a salted caramel swirl. And I made these gigantic black bottom, so Oreo crusted pecan pies.
Oh, that sounds
there
terrible.
were chunks of pecan pie throughout, and it is the best sweet, salty, rich, decadent Thanksgiving treat you can have.
How do you rank? Okay, so now that I got to do this too now, because we talked about UW Fins, because now we're talking sweet and salty.
Yeah.
What is they make the salty malty in a can.
Absolutely. So
it's good, right? Like, I like salty malty. Okay.
The salty malty is fantastic. I actually made a flavor last Christmas. That's Christmas Eve tradition. Our family goes to GW Fins every year. Love it. And we got to get the salty malty. So I made a little riff on that for my Christmas drop last year. It was a malted vanilla ice cream with a salted caramel swirl and a salted malted pretzel crunch throughout.
Love it.
It was pretty solid one.
Okay. Well, now I am an ardent Super Witch follower now. I don't know if this is probably not good for my waistline, but it is what it is. I mean, you just got to cut back in other areas and balance. So no more pub mix in the kitchen that everybody sees me sneaking in when I shouldn't be eating it. But man, this has been really a fantastic discussion. Is there anything else about Super Witch you want to say before we go? Because have really loved talking about your company, and I'm excited to watch it grow, and the ice cream is fantastic.
No, I appreciate y'all having me. Thank you very much. And if any of the viewers have any questions, my DMs are always open on Instagram. Would love to chat about anything ice cream related, not ice cream related. It's all open, All
right. Well, I love it. Thanks for being here today, Briggs. We really appreciate it. And having a blast talking to you. If you are not dumb, you will go to Super Witch Ice Cream and you will figure out a way to get some of this stuff. I'm hoping that Briggs staffs up soon, because I have a feeling I'm not going to make the initial 800 or 900 cut every Wednesday. It sounds pretty competitive. Like you said, it sells out in a minute or two. But it's really fantastic ice cream. I'm not even lying just because you're here. Like, it's some of the best ice cream I've ever tried. So I'm a new fan, a new follower, a new customer. So check them out. It's Super Witch Ice Cream Company. Thanks again, Briggs, for being with us.
I appreciate y'all. Thanks for having me.
And thank you all for listening. This has been, once again, an interesting discussion on the Overrule podcast. We appreciate all of you following, and we'll look forward to the next time. Take care.
Scott McNair, injury attorneys, we fight for the win.
Information is for illustrative purposes only and does not constitute tax, investment, or legal advice. Always consult with a qualified investment, legal, or tax professional before taking any action.